Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hi everybody, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Thank you so much for joining me this week of May the 1st through May the 8th, 2022. I'm going to be spending the next 10 or 15 minutes with you trying to explain to you what the planets are offering us as far as opportunities or challenges. And if you can, it may help to connect with your guides and maybe look at it from the eyes of your instructors, which is your guides. Oftentimes they can help us understand things in a different way than we would naturally. So don't be afraid to ask your guides for help to understand in the way that they want you to, not the way maybe I'm explaining it to you. And thanks to Charlie O'Brien, these podcasts are found on Spotify and Apple iTunes, SoundCloud, Amazon Music Podcasts, and Charlie, the amazing Charlie, has got us now on YouTube. So you can subscribe to our podcasts on any of the devices that you usually use. So it's getting pretty available. Also, the website, www.terriworld.com, has it archived by Charlie O'Brien as well. So he has 4 or 5 of them up there so that you can, if you missed something and you want to catch up, you can find it there. So again, thank you for sharing your time with me, the most valuable commodity that we have. And here we go. So the sun sign is still in Taurus. Taurus being that bull, that determined energy, that strength of will, the strength of body. So we can tap into that if we're feeling vulnerable or tired. If we just feel like we just don't have that energy, maybe just take bull into your mind and feel what you imagine that a bull would feel with those huge muscles and the power behind that massive body structure. And then Mercury, the planet of the mind, how we think, how we communicate, how we process things, that's in Gemini. Now, Gemini's ruling planet is Mercury, so this is a happy place for Gemini, and that's the planet of communication as well. So Gemini is communicative, likes to share ideas, likes to look at things that are new and a different way of approaching things. So that's very, very compatible. Here's the rub. On the 10th, which is next week, Mercury goes into retrograde. Yes, the dreaded retrograde. And it won't go forward again until the 24th. And when it does, it'll be back into the bull. So because it's going backwards, it revisits the astrology zodiac planet that it was in before, because it's going backwards. So retrogrades have their place, of course. The difficulties that some people may find with retrograde, especially when it's in Mercury, is thinking, right? That's the planet of mental processing. So some of the thinking can be backwards or slower. Our personal hard drives might be a little bit slow to process, and we're going to discuss this again next week. I'm just giving you a heads up. So if you have any thinking to do or anything that needs to have some real brain power, you might want to look at it this week so you can get that behind you and address it as opposed to hoping that it works out next week when it's in retrograde. Retrograde seems to be very conducive to making mistakes. So if, excuse me, if I was vulnerable to somebody else's decisions or somebody else's doing something, I would just, in the air of caution, check it over and make sure it was right. So for instance, if I was getting a prescription, I would make sure that the pills are the same color, that the count was right, that it's the same milligrams. Not that pharmacists make any more mistake than I was just an example. Already myself, I'm a Mercury person, and so is John B. Mine is from Virgo and John's is from Gemini. And already I'm finding I can't find the words that I want. Communication doesn't flow as easily or as well as I would like it to. I stutter and stammer. It's just not a fast processor. So knowing that, I'm a little careful in all kinds of things. Maybe going down the stairs, instead of running down the 18 stairs, I might gallop and hold on to the railing, because maybe my mind wouldn't get the information to my feet fast enough to maybe correct a misstep. So I'm just really careful. This is where accidents happen. We go through red lights and think, oh my God, I knew that. We just make mistakes. So just be careful with that. This is not a time to buy something new. Retro is never a time to buy something new. You are more likely to get a lemon, for instance, if you bought a brand new car or you signed the contract for a brand new car. Great time to look backwards. So what I've done is I've contacted an accountant. Because I'm going with a new accountant, I'm going to have him go over my books in the next 3 weeks. Luckily, it all worked out. I'm so happy. So it's a perfect time to go backwards in time and rethink retro. This is a time to redecorate, to renovate, to redo your car. If you need anything that's retro, this is the time for it. So take advantage of it. It starts technically on the 10th, but many sensitive people start to feel the vibration now, and I'm feeling it already. Venus, the planet of love and beauty and attraction, is in Aries. Aries being a hot energy field, impulsive. It's a combination that you just want to be respectful of, because sometimes in love, being impulsive isn't always the best approach, but hey, some people like it fast and loose. So who am I to decide what would be good and what not? So given that, we may need to look at what is good for everybody, what's good for us, what's good for them. Are we making a mistake? Do we need to pay more attention to this? All of this is important. If you think impulse would be in your best interest, then go ahead and be impulsive, and then consequences later. If you feel that this is something that merits a little bit caution, you may have to look at it and say, okay, I might have to slow myself down here and really look at this a little bit more cautiously. You decide what is best for you. But with that impulsive energy, this is where a lot of relationships go in: hot, heavy, fiery, and it just goes phew, like a fizzling out. And you don't want to fizzle out. I don't know, maybe you do. Mars, the planet of our passion, our drive, that's in Pisces. Mars being a fire sign, Pisces being a water sign, sometimes a little bit fire can burn and melt off water, or sometimes too much water can put out fire. But when we use them both together in a balanced way, then we might have steam, which would be pretty powerful and pretty good. So you want to look at that. How can I harness things? What can I do to make things a little bit more powerful? Balance, I guess, is really the key. It's a very psychic energy field, Pisces. So that passion and that sensitive energy field could push us maybe to help somebody, to maybe go out of our comfort zone and see how can we help, what can we do to make somebody else's life a little bit more bearable. Some little tiny thing like donating, not our organs, but well, organs aren't a bad thing. They're short on supply right now. I hear they're down 1,600 organs. But you'd have to die to do that. So let's just look at our blood instead. Maybe just donate a little bit more blood, or look at doing something of that nature that might be a little bit more helpful. And the number that's given to us this week is the number 3. Now, the number 3 is an energy that usually contributes to mentally alert energy and a creative mind. So that's going to go together this week before that retrograde hits. It's an energy that allows for originality and really, really good imagination. So if you need that, maybe at your work or your own life, to try to create a new experience, this is the time to get into that good imagination. Number 3 hates boredom, and it does try to cooperate with others because it's trying to get to number 4, which is an even number, and likes that number 4 and working with others. It's charming and it's witty. Now, caution. You've got to be careful being critical of others at this time. we may need to learn how to be more diplomatic, because towards the end of the week, when we get into that moon energy around Saturday, I think it is on the 7th, the moon moves into Leo, and Leo hates criticism, even if it's constructive. So we may be sensitive to any critical communications, even if it's in our best interest. So be careful how you spoon that out. It may not be something that's received as easily or as well as others. And the downside of number 3 is trying to be more open to what others are trying to tell us. It's hard to communicate when only one side is talking. And beware of restlessness. It could get your energy out the door for no productive reason. We could become easily distracted. Our temper could be bad because of the irritability. And fearing dullness, we may be even tempted to do something that we wouldn't normally do. And really watch carelessness, because coming into that Mercury retrograde, we could hurt ourselves. Now, quickly, the totem that was given to us for this week is the butterfly. Believe it or not, folks, believe it or not, when I was trying to find the totem this afternoon, I can't believe it myself. I'm still gobsmacked. A white, well, I'm sure it's a moth, but I'm going to call it a butterfly. The white moth, those little cabbage moths that we see around, came flying across 2 inches away from me at this time of the year. What the heck? So, butterfly is transformation. Not always an easy transformation, but a lot of our lives are going to transform, and there'll be a lot of change for many of us. Butterflies dance. When I was watching the butterfly do its little dance out there around there, hoping the ducks didn't see it and eat it. That's not good for your animal totem for the week. I watched it dance, and it just flitted all over, and it did look like a dance. And then it made me think that I've not seen too many people dancing that were unhappy. Dancing makes your spirits lift. It lets you get in touch with joy. And the colors of most butterflies, this particular one was white. But the colors also mean something and share something with us. So if you happen to see a butterfly, and that would be a miracle this week, but if you do, even if it's on TV, pay attention to the color and what color is it trying to share with you. And butterflies move. I mean, they're all over the place. So maybe butterfly is trying to get us up and get us moving. Just get moving, folks. Just get moving. Now, quickly, I pulled a couple of tarot cards. I won't stay long with it. Excuse me. The first one that came up is mental balance. So the universe, our guides, is trying to help us work really hard to remain mentally balanced, to look at things coming at us and say, how can I look at both sides here? How can I stay in the middle? Not to create an impasse where I can't get by, but to just move forward, but with balance. So some of us might get stuck and be found maybe in the horns of a dilemma, and we can't see clearly which path we're going to use. But if we don't know which way to follow, I think during this time we're supposed to follow with our head, not necessarily our heart. So if we're feeling immobilized right now by any decision that we've got, or maybe even indecision, and we feel really that we've met maybe a stalemate in our life, we need to really keep a tight rein on our emotions and really think it through. Don't immobilize yourself or scare yourself to death. But with this, what we're supposed to do is take kind of a neutral or passive stance, stand back, face our feelings, face the issue, and then with that passive stance, wait. I know a lot of us hate waiting, but wait. Wait for something new to happen before making that decision. The universe, as a rule, for me, always will show me the way to go. I just have to be patient here. I have to remain in control of my mind. I have to remain in control of our emotions. We can't hold out forever, we know that, but they will show us the way. If we just stand there for a moment, trust, have faith, it'll come to the surface. You'll see. Just trust. Alrighty, folks, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time with me. Nothing more. There's not a bigger gift than somebody spending their time with you. If you would like me to spend more time with you on a one-on-one, you are welcome to text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at Terri, Terri.Coutts, Coutts @gmail.com. You can email me there. And if you need any of your web services looked after, Charlie O'Brien is the fella to go and look up, because he's amazing. Thanks again, everybody. You have yourself a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll talk next week. Bye for now.
You've been listening to Insights with Terri Coutts. Join Terri every Monday on Facebook, 7 o'clock Eastern Time for live chats. And visit her website, terriworld.com, TERRI world.com. And thank you for listening.